Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So let's see what's the problem of the day. The problem of the day is first non-repeating characters in a stream. So what we have to do is we are given an input stream A of n characters consisting only of lowercase alphabets. While reading characters from the stream, you have to tell which character has appeared only once in the stream up to that point. If there are many characters that have appeared only once, you have to tell which one of them was first one to appear. If there is no such character, then append hash to the answer. So what's the problem stating is that we are given a stream of array. It's contained like a a b c. This is a string which contains the characters which are a a b c. So while we are reading it from here, so what which characters we have encountered till it is a. So it is non-repeating. Yes, it is encountered once in a stream, so we will put a in our answer. So now while moving forward, yes, okay, and the a is repeating, so there is no non-repeating character, so we will put a hash here. So now moving forward, we have encountered b. So in this whole stream, which is the character which is non-repeating? It is only b because a has repeated. So it is the only b getting which is non-repeating, so we will put b in our answer. Okay, so now moving forward, we have two characters which are non-repeating, which is B and C. So when there are more than one character which are non-repeating, we have to put the first character in a stream. So first character in a stream is B, which is non-repeating. So we have encountered B before C, and B is non-repeating. So we will put our B as a in our answer, and we will see that our answer will be A hash BB. Okay, so here's the example which is given in the question. Okay, so here's the data structure we will use. So guess which data structure we will be using. Okay. Understand the problem statement and guess what data structure we will be using to do this question. Okay. Here's the key point to guess which data structure we can use. Okay. If there are many characters that have appeared only once, you have to tell which one of them was the first one to appear. Okay. I guess till now you have guessed which data structure we would be using. So yes, it is Q. Why? Why Q? Because it has stated that you have to tell which one of them was the first one to appear. So we know that the Q is the data structure which follows the first in, first out rule, which is FIFO, first in, first out. So the character which has appeared before another character and is non-repeating, we will be taking this character in our answer, not the character which is next to it. Okay. So what will be the algorithm we will be doing? Okay. So now let's see what will be the algorithm we will be performing here. So as of now, we all know that we have to traverse the whole stream of array. Okay, we have to traverse the whole stream of array, and we have to see which character is non-repeating, which means the frequency of the character should be one in the array. Okay, so to have the count of the frequency, which data structure we would be using? We have two choices. We can take an array or vector of 26 characters. Okay, we can take an array of 26 character which will be taking account of frequency, or we can use a map. Okay, or we can use a map. So here we will be using a map which will have the frequency count of the characters. So here we are three characters a, b and c. So now let's say the frequency of the all characters now is 0 because we have not traversed any character till yet. Okay, so I am taking the all. It is a map. Okay, this is map. In map we have the characters and the frequency. Now the frequency of each element is 0 because we have not traversed anyone yet. Okay, so now what we will be doing, we will be traversing and performing our algorithm. Okay, so first we will be moving to the if this a. So what this a is encountered, what we will do, we will increase the frequency of a. The frequency of a will be 1. Obviously the frequency of a will be 1 because a is the non-repeating character in till we have traversed till here. Okay, so now a is the only character till now, and a is the non-repeating character. Yes, a is the non-repeating character. So when we have encountered a, we will increase the frequency of a by 1. Okay, we will increase the frequency of a by 1. When we will increase the frequency of a by 1, we will check if a is non-character is if a is non-repeating character. So yes, if a is 1, then it is non-repeating character, and we will push that a into our queue because it is non-repeating character and it is first character which has come and it is non-repeating character. Okay, so we have put our character into the queue. So now, and hence we will put this a into our answer. Okay, this is the only thing we have to do. Yes, we see that in this a is non-repeating character. Okay, we have pushed our a into the queue and we have taken it in our answer. Okay, a. So now what we will do, we are increment our iterator. Our iterator will be here now. Okay, which means we have to traverse till here. We have traversed till here. Okay. So now what character we have encountered? It is A. We will what we will do? We will increment our frequency of A. We will increment the frequency of A, which will get now 2. Okay. The frequency of A is 2, which means it is not non-repeating character anymore. Okay, it is not the non-repeating character anymore. So what we will do now? What we will do now? So we have seen the RQ must contain the non-repeating characters only. Okay, because it is order. Increasing order means that the character which has come first will be placed first in the queue, which has come second will be placed second at the queue, and we will take the front element of the queue as our answer. Okay, so now the frequency of A is 2. So what we will do? We will pop the elements of the queue who are repeating here. Okay, so what is the element in the queue? A. What is the frequency of A? The frequency of A is 2. So what we will do? We will pop the element. Okay, so we will pop the element. So we will pop the element. Okay, we have popped our element. So now queue is empty. When the queue is empty, what we have to do? That there is no such characters. The When queue is empty, which means there is no such character which is non-repeating. And when the queue is empty, so what we have to do? We have to push hash in our answer, because there is no such character which is non-repeating till here. So now what we will do? So now what we will do? We will be incrementing our iterator, and which means we have traversed till here. The iterator is there, which is denoting the character B. So what we will do? We will do the frequency increment of B. So what will the frequency of B? It will be 1. And if the frequency of B is 1, what we will do? We will put it in our queue. Okay, we will put it in our queue, and we will check if there is any element who is non-repeating in the queue. So what we will do? We will check what is the top element of the B, the top element of the queue. The top element of the queue is B, and the frequency of B is 1. So now what we will do? If the frequency of B is 1, we will take the top element of the queue in our answer. Okay, so now what we will do? We will increment our iterator, and we will reach at the end. We will increment our iterator, and now we have reached our end, which means ABC is the whole stream now, and the character which is denoted by iterator is C. What we will do? We will increment the frequency count of C by 1. Okay, we will increment the count of C by 1, and we will, when the count is 1, we will push our element into the queue. If the count is 1, which is it is non-repeating, and we will push our element into the queue. So now the queue will contain B and C. Okay, there are two elements which are non-repeating in this stream, which means B and C. So now element appeared first is B. So B is the non-repeating character in the whole, and we will take it in our answer. Okay, I hope you have understood. So what was the first step we did? Okay, revise. If the frequency we have encountered A, the frequency of A is 1. Okay, the frequency of A is 1. If the frequency of some character is 1, we have to put it in our queue, which means that till here this character is non-repeating. Okay, now if it is character is non-repeating, we have to take the top front element of the queue in our answer. Okay, in our answer, we have taken this element in our answer. So now the frequency of A. So we have moved forward, and the frequency of A is here 2. So if the frequency of A is 2, so now the frequency of A is 2. What we have to do? We have to pop our queue. We have to pop our queue if the elements are non-repeating. Okay. First step: increment the frequency of the incoming character. The incoming character is A. We have to increment the frequency. Increment frequency is 2 now. Okay. Frequency 2. Second step: remove the repeating element from the queue. A is in the queue, and the frequency of A is now greater than 1. So we will pop the element from our queue. Okay, so now move forward. Incoming element is 2 B. If we have popped our element and the queue is empty, sorry, if we have popped our element and the queue is empty, we will store hash in our answer. Okay, if something was present in a queue, then we have to take that element, and if something is not there, then we have to take hash. Okay, now again we have incremented the iterator, and now it is representing B. Increment the frequency of the incoming character. The incoming character is B. We have to increase the frequency. The frequency will be 1. So when the frequency is 1, we have to push it in our queue. What do you have to do? We have to push it in our queue. Now we have to check the front element is non-repeating. Yes, the frequency of B is 1. So store the element B. Okay, now what do you have to do? The iterator will be here. Iterator will be here. The frequency of C will be incremented. The frequency of C now will be 1. If the frequency is 1, we will push it in our queue. Now check if the queue, top of the queue is non-repeating element. Yes, it is non-repeating element. So take the front element in our answer. So I hope you understood the algorithm. So now let's code. Okay, so what was the first step? First step was to take the map on order, take the data structures unordered map int comma int. Now another data structure is q. We will be using q. Tab, q. Okay. Now what we have to do? We have to traverse. We have to traverse for What does that mean? This means that we are traversing character by character in A, not through iterator. Okay, which means that the char C will be not the index, it will be the element at that index. Okay, so the first step is increment the frequency. The frequency of character, the frequency of character is MP of C will be incremented. Okay, what was the second step? Remove, increment the frequency, and if the frequency is 1, what we have to check? If the frequency is 1, if MP of C equals 1, what we have to do? We have to push our character in queue, that the queue contains the non-repeating element. Okay, so what was the second step? Second step was if the queue contains the non-repeating element. Okay, if queue contains the non-repeating element, while not q dot empty, while not q dot empty, and this loop will run while till the if queue contains repeating elements, or if the queue is empty. After the queue is empty, we cannot pop the elements. Okay, so that's why we have put this condition. So if the queue dot front, if the character at the queue dot front has a frequency means if MP of q dot front, that the frequency of q dot front is greater than 1, which means it is repeating element. Okay, so we will pop our element. Okay, we will pop our element. So now third step was, what was the third step? We have to store the element. Store the element means if not q dot, if q dot empty means if q is empty, then there is no such element which is non-repeating. Then what we have to do? We have to, okay, now we have to also take our string. Okay. What we have to do? We have to add hash in our answer if queue is empty. If queue is not empty, then what we have to do? We have to take else else we have to take the front element of the queue as our answer. Okay. So now we will have return our answer. So let's check if it is working properly. Yes, it is working properly. Now we will try to submit it. I hope so there is no error in that. So yes, it gets submitted properly, correctly. So guys, if you have understood the video, and so guys, if you have understood the solution, please make sure to subscribe the channel, and you can check my Instagram, LinkedIn profile in the description box. So let's wrap up with that. Okay, thank you guys.